Safe to say we're not expecting any major surprises today from Governor Ueda.
No, we certainly are not. He has testified to Parliament several times, suggesting that for now he is ready to go very slowly on monetary policy. The consensus reflects that in the markets, that this is definitely likely to be a monetary policy meeting that's more about communication, more about signaling than it is about making any specific change. Now, of course, early on, people thought he might be ready to shake up yield curve control. For example, it has side effects that he and others have criticized. He's also known for moving slowly. Back in 2002, when he was on the BOJ's monetary policy board, he voted against rate hikes that were passed and then, of course, had to be reversed. So this is a BOJ led by Mr. Ueda that probably wants to move slowly and carefully, and that's the messaging we have gotten so far. Inflation outlook, though, this is in a small but important way a big number today, a big view from the BOJ, because they've already forecast under Governor Kuroda that this year inflation is going to come down. The core number, which takes out fresh food prices, is running just over 3% now. That's well above the BOJ's 2% target. But the forecast for inflation broadly is not to hold on to 2% inflation target. By the end of the year, it'd be down to 1.6% and a weaker outlook below 2% if you look out over the next couple of years. However, inflation has been staying high. We have seen the Shunto, the spring wage negotiations, looking as good as they've looked in about 30 years. So that's probably the little wiggle room there. Will they maybe not weaken that inflation outlook quite as much as they did back in January? Will Governor Ueda acknowledge that maybe there is a little bit more momentum, there is a little more chance that inflation stays at higher levels than they see now? But we have to remember, he's a data guy. He's got to see the data, and I think we'll see that emphasized as well today.
So what does that mean? When could we actually see the BOJ making its first move, given, of course, that we do have also the political deadlines coming up, and Prime Minister Kishida's move to hold national elections sooner could make the BOJ's move really uncertain?
Yes, and if anything, Sherry, that's a very important question to raise, because all of a sudden, it didn't exactly come out of nowhere, but when his party did better weekend before last in the local elections, he thought, we don't need a snap election. Maybe they could call an earlier general election. And actually, what I'm hearing is that how can you move monetary policy, which hasn't moved much at all for about 10 years, how can you make a big change there right before the elections? Better to sit back, see how that plays out. Now, we don't know when the elections might take place. We don't know if they'll be called early, and so that could put a cloud over things as well. I'm sure that reporters will ask about that at the press conference, and we'll get probably a non-answer from Ueda, but he'll have to at least make some kind of statement about what he doesn't know or can't say yet.